Welcome back to BST, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's the new year. This will be the year of Bracken Sports Talk, I think. We're going to hit it big this year.
Well, there's 3 teams represented in the shot that haven't had very good years so far.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Green Bay, we're just whiny.
Yeah, hey, it's fine.
a down year
If you
for
watched the
Green
last
Bay.
episode, you'll understand.
But Jazz, no shot. Boise State yesterday.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today, just briefly before the early game starts of the college football playoff. But yeah, yesterday, New Year's Eve. Hope you guys had a good New Year's Eve. You probably had the game on if you're into college football. And it was, it was pretty disappointing from a Boise State fan. But Penn State beat Boise State 31-14. I think the scoreboard looks like it was more of a blowout than it was for most of the game. I don't know if you agree. I felt that Boise State played well for most of the game. I mean, they went down 14-0 and was able to battle back and make it a game, which I thought was pretty impressive from Boise State. But it's just, you could tell that these were 2 different classes of teams. I don't think Boise State really compared with Penn State, just like athletically. Penn State just had more athletes, and a lot of the times in college games, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to who has better athletes.
I agree with you there. I will say I live in Idaho, but I am not a Boise State fan. I think transplant. You're more of a fan than I am.
But I will say, before the start of the year, I was not really a Boise State fan. I had never really watched games like I did this year.
Yeah.
But I think it just really speaks to Ashton Jeanty and how he really united like everybody in Boise, really, because I know a lot of my friends never watched. Now they're going to Boise State University, so that's part of it. But like, I feel like Ashton Jeanty really like got the spotlight on Boise State, and that kind of I was at work yesterday for most of the day, and there were a ton of Boise State shirts, and even in the crowd in Arizona, there were a ton of Boise State fans there. But yeah, I mean, what a season for Jeanty, obviously. Didn't win the Heisman, but I mean, second all time in rushing yards.
I'll say this, watching the game, yeah, I mean, Penn State was the better football team.
Yeah,
they were
100%.
Better athletes across the board.
100%.
I think Jeanty running behind Penn State's line would have.
Oh yeah.
I think it's more an indictment on, not an indictment, that's wrong. Just these smaller schools like Boise State, they're not going to attract those linemen. You know, the line is where the game was won or lost, right?
No,
there, right? The game was lost at the line.
I was saying, you can say the argument is, Jeanty's ran against a Mountain West defensive
which is valid.
line all
Which
year.
is valid.
No, it's valid,
Yeah.
but he's also ran behind a Mountain West offensive line all year.
True.
So, and I think it's not like Jeanty in this game had so many gaping holes, like unsimilarly to the Penn State running backs who had gaping holes all day.
Yeah.
Facing a Mountain West defensive line.
Anybody that watched a lot of Mountain West football this year,
no, it wasn't competitive.
He didn't have huge holes. He was make guys miss or not go down. Like guys would try to hit him and he'd break tackles and then burst. And just against Penn State, Big Ten athletes, he couldn't do that exact same thing, and the line just couldn't create the holes for him.
But I mean,
here I want to talk about this one really quick on this because I don't understand QBR at all.
Me neither.
But here, Drew Aller, 13. Is it Aller?
Aller. I think it is.
It doesn't matter.
He's
losing next week anyway. It doesn't matter. Drew Aller. Aller. Weird name. 13 of 25, 171 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 45.0 QBR.
Yeah.
Maddox Madsen, 23 of 35, 304, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, has a higher QBR at 86.1.
Let me search it
how
up.
Does that make sense?
How is QBR? Actually, no, I don't even care.
It doesn't matter, but
it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
We'll research that somewhere else. But
no, let's touch on Madsen, though.
Yeah.
I thought he played pretty good. Considering, I mean, he threw 3 picks, but 2 of them came at the very end of the game. All 3 came in the fourth quarter, did they not? I think they did. Also, I think it's quite surprising that Boise State was even in this game, considering how many times they grabbed a gun and shot themselves right in the foot.
Yeah.
I mean, they dropped 2 interceptions. I thought Aller's stats don't look as bad as he played. I feel like he made some good throws, but there are also throws and decisions. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, here's the thing. I agree with you there. So I did a little bit of quick digging here. Now, I don't have the stats up here, but how many times was he sacked?
I think it was
Aller
about
was
3.
sacked 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
How many times was
it 3?
Or no, sorry,
Madsen?
4 sacks, but 3. So a quick AI. Thank goodness for AI.
Yeah, love AI.
So I love this too because it's like I think it's just a made up number. QBR is just a made up number. It feels like it's calculated using a complex proprietary formula, so nobody knows. Takes into account a quarterback's performance in several areas: passing, rushing, sack avoidance, lost fumbles, situational context. It doesn't get grayer than that. So
there's no
apparently
who knows, really?
With their proprietary formula,
Yeah.
they would say Maddox Madsen played better than Drew Aller, who really kind of felt like he picked apart the defense. Felt like he threw for more than 171 yards, but maybe I'm just thinking all the rushing yards.
Boise State, if we kind of just run through the game, they go down the field. I felt like they had a good opening drive, but then you missed the kick. It gets blocked.
Yeah.
So that kind of set the tone. You're like, great, we needed the points there. Then Penn State goes down, scores quite easily. Then Boise State has to punt. Or maybe that might have been one of the fumbles. I think they punted. Then Boise State goes down 14. And you're like, great. And at that point, I'm like, this game's over. But then, give Boise State's defense their credit. They battled in the latter parts of that second half.
Oh, it'd have been easy. It felt like a steamroll. It felt like it was going to be an embarrassment. And no, Boise State definitely battled. They fought back. The context I put it in a little bit was Penn State was the older brother.
Yeah.
Boise State was the little brother. Big brother, older brother goes up, 2 scores. Kind of feels like, same old little brother. And then little brother got a little bit bigger than what big brother remembered and kind of scored, bounced back, and then, older brother went, okay, we're going to have to do a little bit more effort than we thought. Here we go. But Boise State did not play their best game.
No, that's the thing.
They didn't. And so I feel like if these two teams played their best game, Penn State still wins.
But I think it'd be close.
But I think it's closer than the score indicates. And I'm not a Boise State fan. It feels like observing.
They did a lot of things right, Boise State did, but they also did a lot of things wrong. I was shocked.
Can't turn the ball over.
I was shocked they got pressure on him that many times. Yeah. They actually did that very well. But it felt like in key situations, they decided to play man, especially on Tyler Warren, who's just a beast.
Yep.
And it's just like, you can't put a DB on him and expect good things, especially in the red zone. It's like, play some zone, because I hate playing man in the red zone, because it gives them just like, oh, let me throw it up to our best player. So that bugged me.
Tight end was good.
And
that guy was a beast.
We couldn't stop their run at all. They were just running it kind of all over us. And
Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
Kudos to Tyler Warren. He's a beast. He's good.
He does it all, too. He's kind of like Taysom Hill in that role.
Honestly, their running back, Katron Allen, he was impressive. I mean, the Boise State defense wasn't very good on the run.
I may be biased in saying this, but I still think Jeanty was the best running back on the field last night, considering.
Yeah.
I felt like there were still runs. I'm like, dude, how did he even get 2, 3, 4 yards out of that?
Yeah, Jeanty, if you notice, even on stops, they couldn't tackle Jeanty. He still stayed on his feet. Even when he lost yardage a few times, they were trying to gang tackle him in those losses, and he still didn't go down.
No.
I mean, he squats like 500 pounds, so he's a strong back.
I've said it all year. He's a better decoy than he is a running back. Because on Boise State's long touchdown, everybody bit.
Yeah.
On both of Boise State's touchdowns, Jeanty was the decoy. Either a fake handoff, or they're sending him out into the to the left for like a fake screen pass, handed to the fullback, and he scores. Honestly, Boise State doesn't score at all, probably, if Jeanty's not in the game. And I felt like the real turning point in this game was that touchdown that got called back for the hands of the face. If we could have scored that, I believe it would have been 24-21 at that point. But then of course, they missed the field goal. So that was a real turning point.
2 missed field goals in this game.
So it just...
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot left out there. I mean, turnovers. Fortunately, 1 fumble.
Yeah.
They were able to force a fumble on Penn State. So, I mean, it was if you didn't watch the game, I mean, going into the fourth quarter, it was a 10-point game. It was still close. They scored that touchdown late to kind of put it away, but 31-14, you'd look at it and be like, oh man, Boise wasn't in it, but
I felt like they were.
They were in the game. I mean, they definitely I mean, they played a lot better than SMU, but I mean, to SMU's defense, they had to go to Penn State.
Yeah, in the cold.
If SMU could play Penn State,
plays
maybe
down
they would,
south. It's
SMU could have done a lot better having neutral field. I feel like.
I just hope this doesn't prevent, next year Pac-12 teams. Like, I hope they don't change the format so this doesn't, we don't get to see these teams, Arizona State and Boise State, make the playoff.
So all of the commissioners, the CFP committee, ESPN, everybody that's part of the college football contract would have to unanimously vote to make any changes.
Yeah.
It would have to be a unanimous vote. So you're at least getting 1 more year of this format, I think, before it's up for evaluation again. But, I mean, the plain and simple truth, in my opinion, for Boise State is this is what you're going to be used to. You're going to make the college football playoff. You're probably going to lose in the first round. And because there just isn't any parity in college football where you can go, a smaller team can go on a run like in basketball. I think basketball is a very different sport. You can get hot and go on a run, and you can have a Cinderella team. I just feel like you might be able to win a first-round playoff, but you're just going to run into these juggernauts that just get all the better athletes, and I just...
The only hope...
That's just what it feels like.
The only hope for Boise State is recruits see this. It seems like they have a pretty good culture. But
can you pay them enough NIL to come to Boise State?
It's a broken sport. But
it's better.
It is what it is.
The playoffs more exciting. I watch more college football now, but
you got to hope that these next couple games in the second round are better than the first round were. And so far, there's not been one close game really. So you're kind of hoping you'll get to see something here to kind of boost it up a little bit.
Well, and it feels like everybody thinks the national championship is going to be decided at the 3 o'clock Eastern time game.
Should be a good one. Ohio State, Oregon.
Or, 3 o'clock Mountain Time, 5 o'clock Eastern.
Go Ohio State.
Ohio State, Oregon.
Go Ohio State. I'm the biggest Ohio State fan today. Cannot stand the
I don't know.
Oregon
We've got a few friends and maybe subscribers. I don't know if they're subscribers.
Hey, we got people on both sides.
We've got some family that are Ohio State.
We got some family on Ohio State. We got some friends on Oregon.
Got some good friends that are Oregon fans.
I'm excited.
We're kind of in the middle here.
It should be a fun one, but yeah, I'm proud of the way Boise State fought. I thought they fought. They came out flat, but I felt like they showed no fear and just came out there, played. They didn't play their best, but they battled them. I think any Penn State fan would say they were a little nervous during that game. They had a little...
Well, I think they felt like they should put us away, or I say us, put Boise State away.
Hey, you're a closeted fan. I know it.
Nah, being a Boise State fan is rough because you just don't have a rival. You've had a lot of success playing, lesser teams, smaller programs in the Mountain West. It's a shame they don't have a rival. But I've rooted against Boise State a lot just for the fact I want a close game, and I hardly ever see one. So I was definitely, this is the most cheering I've done for Boise State.
It's the thing. It's now that Jeanty's leaving, it's kind of like I don't know where the program goes. I
don't know enough about their roster to know who's coming back or what.
I think they can make a run next year, just because if this format's going to stay. The group of 5 team, they're going to end up being the 12 seed next year. They're not going to be this good. But they could make a run into the playoff. And that's how, at the end of the day, especially for a fan like me, it's much different in football where I care a lot more and I want to see them win the whole thing. In this, it's like, I just want meaningful football.
Yep.
At the end of the year. It's just more fun.
Yep.
Just to have everybody in Boise just unite under one team. But yeah,
let us know. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the game.
Yeah, if you watched it, and maybe any predictions for the national champion.
Yeah. So we're gonna plan to do another reaction just on the 3 games today.
Yeah, we'll do another one tonight. Just like I said a few videos ago, there's a kind of new format. It's more centralized videos on what's happening. So yeah, Boise State loses a tough one, 31-14. Proud of the way they fought. We're gonna get going. Watch some more of the football. Arizona State has the ball right now.
Yep.
I know one of my friends goes to Arizona State, so we're cheering hard for Arizona State. Big Camp Scattaboo fan. Should be a fun one to watch.
First play, 1 carry, 10 yards.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Have a good one, and we'll see you tonight.